Got to, man. Gotta bounce back. Shout out to my homie Keys, Xavier Keys, on the vocals on this. Okay. Honestly, they couldn't stop me if they wanted to. Gotta get up, go out and get it, and that's what I'm gonna do. I've been focused, I'm not hungry. Yo, I'm starving, dude. Grind mode with my team, we making these power moves. Honestly, they couldn't stop me if they wanted to. Gotta get up, go out and get it, and that's what I'm gonna do. I've been focused, I'm not hungry. Yo, I'm starving, dude. In grind mode with my team, we making these power moves. Cause I ain't got no time to be wasting with all this music I'm making. Man, I'm tired of being impatient, so I keep making these moves here with my crew. Vow to myself to always stay true, so I don't care what nobody else do. I know why. Like an erection, bumps in the road, but nah, I ain't stressing. I don't work out, but homie, I'm flexing. Every time I get on the beat and I bless it. Rise and shine, and I never let another come and stop my grind. Cause I grind all night at the gig, no lie. Then it's back in the booth for some overtime. Come on. Nope. Shout out to Miss Alma Ramos. Shout out to Miss B. I said, hey. My mom told me to get them, so I don't care what y'all say. I just keep grinding. Yeah, I stay working, cause it's, you know, I said, that's right. In the lab with a pen and a pad, let's ride. Make it look so easy, don't it make y'all mad? One thing I know, one thing is certain. I can't stop, won't stop, cause me and my team stay working. One thing I know, one thing is certain. Can't stop, won't stop, on the grind, getting mine, I'm working. No sleep. Spit heat, killing these tracks, and I'm not gonna stop till I'm up on top where I'm supposed to be. Everywhere I go, I scream SP. We're more than a crew, we your family. Working trying to get a couple Grammys, G, have them sitting on top of the mantelpiece. Thank God. Go hard, they just mad cause I'm on my job. But where I'm from is to the ground to starve. Starving, I just can't do it. Not having it, unthinkable. So I turn in to stretch Armstrong, and now I can reach the unreachable. Let's go. Hey, trying to... Yo, I said I can't sit still. I just laugh at y'all haters. Cause, yeah. Hey, mom's told me, so why don't, let's go, I just keep, yeah, I stay, cause it's, you know, I said, that's right. In the lab with a pen and a pad, let's ride. Make it look so easy, don't it make you mad? One thing I know, one thing is certain. I can't stop, won't stop, cause me and my team stay working. One thing I know, one thing is certain. Can't stop, won't stop, on the grind, getting mine, I'm working. Don't ever let anybody tell you that you can't get what you want. Whatever you dreaming for, you get out there and you get it. You make it happen. Never mind the haters. Real spill. Cause all day, always, get them. Yes sir. I'm grinding. Stay working. Hey, I said that's right. In the lab with a pen and a pad, let's ride. Make it look so easy, don't it make you mad? One thing I know, one thing is certain. Can't stop, won't stop, cause me and my team stay working. One thing I know, one thing is certain. Can't stop, won't stop, on the grind, getting mine, I'm working. Gotta. Yes, sir. Love them.
Rise and shine. Pour yourself a cup of coffee and tune in to Good Morning Aurora. News, weather, and really cool interviews. Monday through Friday from 8 to 9 a.m.
certainly. Yeah.
Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. The time is 8 o'clock a.m. You're listening to and watching Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. It's Wednesday. We're here. We have a special interview for you guys today. Oh, that's my voice on my own phone. Scratch that up, DJ. We got a button for everything here. We have a great story for you guys today. We're going to be talking about Bull, a Love Story. And not only Bull, a Love Story, we also be talking about Clata and the Chicago International Theater Alliance, our friends at the Paramount. Our guests today are Laura Alcala Baker and also Jim Corti. How you guys doing?
Good morning.
Great, we're happy to be here.
All right, we got coffee too, so we're doing real good today. Yes.
Cheers.
Of course, thanks for this.
Started off right.
Much needed.
I hope that all of you guys are having a great time out there. When the camera comes on, we will show you something really cool. We'll show you a new scene. You'll be like, hey, wait a minute. I don't see the Navy flag. I don't see the Katrina. That's the mast,
sure,
right?
Yeah.
I don't see the Katrina on the wall. Well, you'll see something else very special. Before we get into the details of this, how are you guys doing? How are you feeling as individuals today? Let's start off right.
Let's check in.
Yeah, let's check in. I like that.
I worked out yesterday, so I'm feeling better today.
Good. All right.
And there's so much going on. We're working on the next season of Bold, the next season of the Broadway series here at Paramount. And we've got Dreamgirls that closes on Sunday.
Shout out to Dreamgirls.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Great show. Laura?
I'm great. I'm working, which is exhilarating. So we've been in previews for the past week and change. Before that, tech, which is where you put on in all the lights, sounds, all the costumes, the elements. We're on the set for the first time. And it's a new play. So you make lots of discoveries, lots of adjustments. Every audience who has seen it this week has seen a different show every night. Little adjustments, new text, new tech, all those things. And so we've been doing that, and that's where my brain is just on that show. And today,
you said previews. What are previews?
Previews. So that is where you get to basically test the play.
Okay.
You put it in front of an audience and you let them know, like, we're still working, we're still changing things. Here's what we got, and it's a full show. It's fully realized, but we make discoveries from audiences' responses. We make discoveries from seeing it in its fullness.
Right.
So that's what we've been up to, and the playwright has been in the back whispering to me and trying to make adjustments and explorations, my associate director as well. So our playwright Nancy Garcia Loza is doing some impeccable work, and
wonderful.
Yeah, it's been an exciting time.
The viewers will know that we interviewed Nancy Garcia Loza last week with Esteban Schemberg. That was a great interview conducted on our sister program, Buenos Dias, Aurora. It was really good discussion.
That's wonderful.
I want to read a little bit about Bull, a Love Story, real quick for the folks. Part of the Fifth Destinos Chicago International Latino Theater Festival, Bull, a Love Story. Bull dealt drugs, got caught, and served his time. For a decade, he's thought about one thing: coming home. On the day Bull is released from prison, he returns to his old Chicago neighborhood, Lakeview, now unrecognizable. Hopeful and eager, he's ready to resume life with his family, only to discover how much has moved on without him. His dream now within grasp. What will it take to get home? In your words as a director, what is the genesis of Bull?
Oh, wow.
Genesis. They wasn't ready for that, y'all.
No, I wasn't.
Well, it's quite thrilling. Mm-hmm. It happened during the shutdown.
Yeah.
Our director of education found the Healing Illinois grant, which was earmarked for new voices, new stories for people of color. Amber Mack, our director of new works, somehow found Nancy and Laura. What was really fascinating was the whole initial process was developed on Zoom meetings. And Nancy saying, I don't have a draft for you. I have walked around Lakeview and these voices started. Their stories started. And I have a play for you. And I'm going to write it with you. And what happened, I only saw like the first rehearsal, but I remember all the actors are on screen, and Laura and Nancy, and there was this Google Doc with the beginning of a draft. And you could watch an actor like Eddie go, oh, maybe this would sound better this way. Or Laura said, well, why don't we change this and look at this? And you would watch Nancy on screen change the line right there on screen. And you're watching the actual writing of the play.
In real time, seeing it happen.
Right.
A living, breathing thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So a first draft got done that way. And then it had a workshop, and you know more details about this than I do. But there was a workshop, more drafts, and then the work on the piece hasn't stopped. The thing about previews as well is that they're rehearsing during the day and then doing those changes for that audience that night.
Wow.
That's what Laura's talking about. It's always changing. So even today, you know,
there's new text going
they did a full day of work yesterday, and today's press opening, and we're going to see elements of the show we haven't seen before.
Yes.
Right.
Today.
I think I saw some of the actors yesterday when we were here just setting up, getting the internet test. So they're really cool. I'm excited.
It's very exciting. It's one of my favorite things about theater making is doing new work. And of course, you know, we've got all the more populist commercial type stuff happening in the Broadway series.
Right.
And we try to have a point of view and on all that work as well, and its relevancy to our lives and how those stories get that kind of resonance.
Right.
But the Bold series has been about adventure going.
Right.
Like a night out in downtown Aurora.
Sweat was the last production in Bold, right? Was that correct?
Was the first.
Was the first, excuse me. It was
Right.
the first.
And then Hand to God,
That's right.
then Fun Home, and now Bull, a love story.
Right. Ah, okay. Just wanted to detail that for the folks because I know the Bold series was highly touted and it's done
It's
great
done
work.
very well, and it
Very
has
well.
found its audience. I mean, people will see each production 2 or 3 times. Like, this is the stuff I like.
Right.
We have people saying they're coming back. You know.
So you guys worked the entire time during COVID? During the entire
I
thing?
mean-
Well, Laura sure did,
Laura
and
did.
Nancy
Yeah,
sure
yeah.
did.
Yeah. Well, we know
And
about
that
the...
cast-
Yeah. So, you know, as Jim was saying, there's we started this on Zoom, which was just wild, and it's really rare for a production company, for a theater company, to say, "Oh, you have an idea? Well, let's see it." That is unheard of.
Why is
truly.
that?
Well, because you come to them with a draft, right? They read a draft, they hear your voice, a playwright does, and from there begins like a discussion about the work.
Okay.
And they say, you know, we love this play, we want to help you develop it further. They invest through that, or a playwright gets a grant and starts writing through that, and these guys just were like, go for it. Which is so rare, and that actually gave us a lot of freedom and trust right off the bat. So yeah, it started as a Google Doc.
It seems like that would also be a really big motivating factor too.
Yeah, I mean, like it you can never think about the product, right? You can never think about the result of where it's going to end, because it's about process. We've got to get through the process and let it discover what it wants to be. Nancy has this huge like heart and poetry in her. She cracks her chest open every single time she writes a play. It's evident. You can read it on the page. Her stage directions, they're beautiful. It's poetry. To hear what she's feeling with the sensation of these characters and the environment, it's really palpable. And so we try to live in the process for as long as possible, which they've allowed us to do and have given us like...
Which Laura does so brilliantly, let me say. There, talk about trust, how trusting you are of your actors, of your playwright, and the confidence you have to just let the story reveal itself, adding the element of the artist, the actors, the playwright, the space, the set, and letting it find itself. there's a playfulness to this that takes a lot of trust and a lot of confidence to just let it be and let it grow and mature and find its self.
Right.
And I find that very unusual, Laura.
Is it?
No, and I've been in
love that.
such admiration
Oh, thank you.
of you, watching you work like that. It takes a lot of trust to be so playful, but that's what it's called, play.
Right.
You know, I wish I could remember who said this to me, because I want to attribute their words, but they said it's a play. We're trying to get it closer to a verb and further from a noun.
Ooh.
Yeah, great.
I
wish
love
I'm
that.
trying so hard to remember who said this to me, because I was like, I cannot take credit, but it's so good because that's what we're doing. We're playing, and you get to
Right.
see the result of that play.
Right.
Tim
Ooh,
often
I
uses
love
the phrase. Tim Rader often uses the phrase, "Thank you for playing with us."
Mm-hmm.
You know, thank you for coming and playing.
Yeah.
Because that's how you get the best work, the most authentic work, the most honest work. No one's imposing anything on it.
And this seems like this is the wrong environment for imposition too.
Exactly,
you
but
would
you'd
have
never
to-
know that
right.
with other experiences.
Yeah. So how long have you and Nancy, how long have you known Nancy, and what's the history of working with each other prior to Bull?
Oh, wow. Oh, man. I remember seeing her for the first time, which is in the lobby of Victory Gardens Theater, and we had a mutual friend, Isaac Gomez, who's also a brilliant playwright, and she was working with Alta, she was working with just like all of these incredible Latino artists, and she was magnetic, and I remember seeing her in the lobby, and I was like, who is that? And
You can feel it on people.
Oh,
right? You
yeah.
can see it across the room. Like,
oh
who
yeah,
in the
I was
world?
telling her this story last night. She doesn't believe me, but I was telling her this story over drinks last night, and he was like, "Oh, that's Nancy. She's a playwright, but she doesn't know it yet." And I was like,
Wow.
"Okay,
Right.
okay, that's a
Right.
statement." And so we got introduced, I think mutually. I don't remember the exact moment, but I remember seeing her for the first time, and it's been years now. I want to say like 6 or 7 years. And each time she'll come with a seed, and we'll talk about the seed of the idea. Like I said, she comes from a really personal place. She keeps talking about there's just plays and plays and plays in there. She probably has 12 off the top of her head of all the things she wants to unleash. And it's because she is interested in a canon of living memory. She has so much inside of her that she wants to get out, that she doesn't want to just remain in her and pass away, to disappear. And so that is her goal, and that lines with my goal, which is finding the missing canon. That's what I'm trying to do. So when that aligned, it was over. I mean, we were just like, okay, well, I'll see you on every project ever.
Right. Yeah.
Let's see. And like, it's always, she'll just call me and she'll be like, I got something. I think it's this. And we will have these really fruitful conversations that again are just from a seedling of an idea and an exploration. And that is exciting for a director playwright relationship. August Wilson had this. You know, he had a director his entire career that was really trusted, and I am immensely honored to be that in some way. She calls me her ride or die, and I'm just like, I love that.
I like
I
that.
want to be that, I want to be that to an artist. And I trust her, she trusts me. It's been years now, and we've worked on many, many plays, and we just keep finding them, and then we keep trying to find them homes. That's the
Trying
thing.
to find them homes.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that. This could segue good into that. So your experiences with other writers and what's the elements to make a great, what makes a great collaboration, which then makes a great production? I mean, the soft skills, is it timeliness? Is it all those things? I mean,
Trust.
do writers believe in themselves enough to write to their full potential, or have you looked at things and thought that could be better? Where's the story? Where's the meat?
New play development is really special for a director. It's a different beast. It's just a different beast, and it takes immense trust. You need that relationship between the playwright and the director, so we can all be honest with one another. That something's missing, that I can't quite get over this hurdle, that like, let's hear whatever you got, right? Put it on the page and let's hear it before you doubt it.
Right.
it's about trying. It's just try it all. Let's explore. And that that's the most important thing to me, is the trust. I read a play or an excerpt of a play, if I can really feel it in my gut on that read, even if it's not complete, even if there's missing elements, if I can feel it in my gut, I want to work on it. If I start staging it, start seeing it, then I'm like, oh, we need a home for that.
Okay.
Because now it's ready. The next leap is not on the page, is not in the workshop, is not with talking with actors about like all the things that we want to grow inside of this and the character development. It's actually, we need that leap to get on our feet, to see the play, because plays were not just meant to be read, they're meant to be heard and seen.
Ooh, that's like the third whammer quote you've given us.
Okay.
I got whammers. I'll take it.
So the time is 8:17 a.m. Good morning, everybody, and you are looking at the fabulous. Look at that backdrop.
Yeah.
Bull, a love story, written by Nancy Garcia Loza, directed by Laura Alcala Baker, here at the Copley Theater, right across from the Paramount, 8 East Galena Boulevard is our great address here. Okay, directing a world premiere play. What's difficult about it? What's fun? And how is it different from directing a published work?
Oh, I think it's fun because it's difficult.
Sure.
Yeah.
If it's easy,
Right.
Yeah.
Why are we doing it?
Yeah. It's fun. It's fun because it's a challenge, and because as we were talking about earlier, you live in process a lot longer. There are some things that I just can't crack until I see it, and I go, oh, what is this? Why is this sensation? My associate director, Ismail Lara Jr., kept saying, we're at the precipice in this scene. We're at the precipice. Like, why don't we just fall off the cliff? And I kept thinking about the precipice, the second to last scene of the play. And finally, I think we cracked it last night. And so that is the thing, is you're just living in that for as long as possible to go, what is it? And that pursuit of what is it, that's the greatest joy.
Here, okay, and I don't mean to, Jim, I'm going back to you next, but I need to plant a flag in that, because here's the thing, and this is important. It, right? That it. Musicians have the it. The movie had the it. What in the world is it? It's like, it's more of a feeling than a definition, right?
Yeah.
well,
It's got
what's coming up for me listening to this is that it is about the truth. It's acting, it's pretend, but what we're always trying to get at is the truth of something, and a point of view, a perspective from a playwright. And how do we honor that impetus they had to even sit down and write? How do we become extensions of that? But it's always about getting to the truth that inspired this whole thing.
Right.
And that needs to be told, that needs to be heard. I can't encourage people enough to come see Bull, to get the truth of this story, to see how honest it's being rendered, and how they can see their own story in Bull's story. That's the truth, when it becomes relevant, when it resonates in everyone's life.
Okay, right, right. Because the story is a love story.
Oh yeah, first and foremost.
Okay.
Many kinds of love, too.
Yes.
Okay.
It's not just romantic love. I think that's what we think of when we think of a love story, and it's so full. Like, I wore my little hearts today for love story.
I noticed.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
little hearts. And because this play is really close to my heart. It really is. It's expanding that definition of love. It's expanding, or what we think of when we first think of love. Yes, there is a romantic love story, but there's also the loss and the longing and the elation of that love story. And then there's father-daughter, right? And that missing relationship for all those missing years. And then there's a new friend through a neighbor, and that's community, right?
Right.
There's community. We got sister-brother, and this brother, Bull, raised his sister when their parents stepped away, and so it's almost a parent relationship, right? And then there's the love of one's home, one's neighborhood, which has changed so dramatically. It's so full of love. And that is the thing, that every time I go into that room, I feel that love. I feel it in Nancy's text. I feel it from Nancy. I feel it from my collaborators. I feel it from those actors. They love each other so much. We had a salsa party the other day just to celebrate with one another. just to be with one another and express that joy, because they go through a journey, a marathon every night to share that with everyone. So we got to share the love amongst us in order to reach that stage.
Yeah, and the work that is being done by the individual actor to perform in front of the viewer should not be taken for granted. That is hard work. They work very hard. They're very dedicated to their craft, and to put on a good production, it takes, well, all kinds of fortitude. Go back to you, Jim. I didn't even cut you off.
Well, no, you didn't cut me off. It looks so easy, but it takes such commitment and dedication and a sense of purpose to what you're doing that they're very dedicated to that. They're getting changed, especially in a new work. They're getting new lines, new words all the time, new scenes, new staging all the time, and they retain it and deliver it.
Right.
They become the storytellers, the actors, and I'm amazed. You know, I was an actor myself back in the day, but to see it now from where I'm at now generationally and looking at what's happening, what's burgeoning here, I'm just blown away at the chops and the skills and heart of these artists all around. It's thrilling.
You bask in that. You bask in the light of the artists at their best. I see the production pictures and the post-production pictures and everything when you're here with the cast and everything, and it's obvious that you really shine through them, which, you know,
Well,
I can tell that it's not just a picture when I look at it. It's an actual moment that's being captured.
this is the beginning of the 11th season this fall, our 11th year at Paramount, and all I did was show up 10 years ago as an artist, as a director, and started directing. And then look what happened. I didn't start as an artistic director. I've never done that.
Right.
I just showed up as a worker, you know, and started work. And look what happened. This is all here because it was meant to be.
Right.
This is all supposed to be happening. That's how it's happening.
It's destiny.
Right? That's right, Curtis.
It's destiny. This is a very motivating interview. I'm glad to be having this conversation because I've reiterated to a lot of different people that if you like what you're doing, you just need to keep doing that, and it will snowball into what you have and are imagining. You know, it's going to be the ups and downs, but if you're really into it, the downs, you're never down. You know, it's always going to be in the correct direction. The time is 8:24 a.m. Karina Suarez Darden, good morning. How y'all doing? Oh, I know you're like, Curtis is talking so long, we haven't seen him. Good morning, you guys. We're here at the Copley Theater, Bull, A Love Story, going until November 20th. Is that correct?
Ooh, I don't have that handy.
Jeez.
I know, we're terrible.
That's right.
We're terrible.
That's right.
Yes, we've been
We
told.
landed the plane.
Yes, we've been told. It's correct.
Okay, Javier Burgos, good morning. Aurora from Java Plus Coffee and Tea on Waterford, 1677 Montgomery Drive. Great place. Katrina Kaiti, good morning. LDJ Cleaning Professionals, good morning. Tracy Duran, Gloria Gerardo, good morning to you. I hope you have a nice day today and a blessed day today. Amen. Thank you very much. Did you know that we needed that when we woke up this morning? Cheers to everybody.
Yay! Thank you, everyone.
Cheers, cheers.
Okay, so let's talk about the cast and production team. Eddie Martinez is the gentleman who plays Bull.
Yes.
What is Bull the man? What is Bull all about? Let's talk about Bull. We know he's coming back into the new society. Let's talk Bull, and then we'll talk Eddie Martinez.
Yeah. Okay. So, I wish I could remember the stage direction at the end. She says something like he's a mountain, that he's steady. He's got this sort of resolve about him, and this joy of the release. Right, he's formerly incarcerated for 10 years on a drug charge, which is devastating. Right, that length of time and released early. So that length of time for a drug charge, don't get me started.
It's ridiculous.
Right.
Which we're still seeing the repercussions of with a whole generation of Black and brown men who have been incarcerated in that way for those charges. So he gets released from prison and he is ready, from prison, and he is ready to restart, to pick up where he left off.
Right.
Right. His family's waiting for him, his little girl, his girlfriend from that 10 years ago, his sister, his brother, his community. He's ready to go back. And it turns out that 10 years is a very long time.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yep.
he comes back to sort of a unrecognizable place. But first and foremost, he is a man who earns. So this is about him earning that love he feels he is owed. And that's something that's been really important to Nancy in the writing, is seeing a Mexican man earn the love he believes himself to be owed. Mexican cinema and Mexican storytelling has so many stories of men wooing women and then being let back into the home, or kind of forcing their way in, or saying, I am owed this love, and that is not bull.
So the machismo aspect is not bull. Is that what I'm gathering?
He's trying to break that. He's trying to break that. It's hard to break that generational thing.
Because I know there's a cultural, the culture is baked into the cake.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure, like, that's what he's
trying to overcome that.
He's rebuilding.
Yeah.
You know, he sees what's been broken, and dealing with that disappointment, crushed by it.
right.
And then, you know, isn't it machismo to see what you need to do and do it? To just take charge,
Right.
and to start building piece by piece. There's a wonderful metaphor in the play, that the table that he's building. It's a way to show how he's built this relationship back with his family, with his siblings, with the mother of his daughter and his daughter.
Right.
Yeah, and I do want to piggyback on this a little bit, that the like tradition, like the sort of like ingrained, like baked into the bread, as you said, machismo is a trait that has that like sort of masculinity at any cost, that sort of presentation, that sort of armor has cost so many women, particularly. And cost so many young men who want to grow into their sensitivity, grow into their love. It's been a block. That is a block. And so trying to dismantle that as a generational sort of trauma, if I may, that is being that generation is hard work, and it means dismantling. It means working away at tearing away that. Yeah.
What I like about what strikes me with the title specifically, and the strength, and then going back to what you just said about the generation, you know, the many young Latino and African American men and some of the struggles and everything, is that, you know, a lot of times that machismo, that hardness will lead you into things that could find you in trouble with the law. Sometimes machismo and strength is doing what's nice and empathetic, as opposed to that. But figuring that out could be the journey for folks, and that could be the, that could be troubling or problematic, or sometimes itself traumatic. Yeah. So I like the love aspect in the many different areas where the love is showing and able to grow. It seems like he's watering so many like flower pots.
Yeah.
Right? He's trying to put the water on all these flower pots to make them grow into the love. So many threads, you know, because his daughter was, well, she's 12 now.
Yeah, she was a toddler.
So she was a toddler when he was incarcerated.
Or toddler.
Got locked up.
Two. What's toddlers?
Yeah, she was 2 years old. Yeah.
Yeah, 2. She was a baby. Right. Yeah, and I love that you said watering, because that kind of speaks to the time of the play. Act 1 is 48 hours. We watch 48 hours of Bull. And getting home and realizing what this is, and finding his new plan on what he's going to do next. And Act 2, a full year. We watch him go through a full year. And there's something really wonderful in the structure of the play that Nancy has done that's very unconventional, which is Act 1 is short, and Act 2, we're in for the ride.
Ah.
And that's it's very untraditional, but that is what putting new voices on stage does, is that we break apart sort of that Western canon and say, like, well, why does it have to be like that?
Western canon, just the way that movies are,
The
Western
word,
world.
the term,
Yeah.
It's supposed to, I
Right.
hate that term.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's supposed to be like this. No. There are no formulas. And that's the worst thing you can be, is formulaic in your work. Give it its own life. And that's what Laura and Nancy have done with this cast, is given this story its own life. It's not a formula, or that's not derived from anything. It is not derivative.
Right.
This is this play as it lives now.
There's nothing standard about what we're doing.
No.
No. It's really special.
Why should people come see this show?
Oh, for all the reasons we spoke on. I think, all of those things I think are really, really powerful. But, I think, especially during the depths of the pandemic, and particularly lockdown, many artists went through a crisis because this is purpose for us. This is purpose. It's a calling. It's a vocation. And so to lose it meant being like, well, what am I without this? Which was a worthy investigation, of course, but also for me, made me realize how much I need it. I need to tell stories. That is tradition all the way back. Telling stories is how we communicate everything. So that's all I want to do.
All of it.
Is tell those stories. I want to find that missing canon. I want to work with playwrights who write from the heart and not the head, and that is Nancy. And so if you want to see the results of that, what that does to people, what that does to you in a collective room where we weren't able to be together, now's the time.
Good morning, Michael Rayford, Ismail Lara, Candy Johnson, and Maria Chorito. Good morning to you as well. The time is 8:33 a.m. Why is it important that Bull is part of Destinos?
Oh, because it's... you speak to that
Talk
if
a
you
little about
like.
Destinos as well, for those who are unfamiliar.
Well, here we are out in Aurora, I remember first time driving out here, where is this place? And then you turn the corner and you see the marquee and the lake and the bridge over the lake. But there wasn't a person on the street. There wasn't a car on the street. There was Tim Rader there to greet me. And why I'm bringing that up is that the Chicago Latina community has found that Nancy and Laura's work speaks for them, and speaks to community, and speaks to new voices and new stories. And what an honor it is for Paramount to be part of their moving through different theaters to see different plays. That we have been chosen to be a part of this is huge.
Right. I just wanted to plug in that we are the first suburban theater to be showcasing Destinos.
That's right. That's right. Destinos is a huge Latino festival that goes throughout Chicago that features all sorts of Latino stories. Chicago has a huge Latino community, as does Aurora.
Yes.
As it turns out, I think that's so not known. And these streets are these places, they're full of people bursting with those stories and wanting to see themselves represented on stage. We want to see ourselves represented on stage. And that's how it's done, is putting those stories out in all their iterations from all sorts of communities, from the diaspora of the Latino community. And Aurora's doing that here in the suburbs. It's amazing.
There are neighbors just blocks away who've never been through the doors of Paramount.
Isn't that crazy? I have neighbors on my
street
too.
But what is that? That's not for me.
Yeah.
That's not for me. And as much as you say, we are for you, we're here for you, make this your artistic home, they'll walk through the doors, but what if they don't see themselves in the stories? What if they don't see themselves on stage? this is where words have to turn into action, and just starting to step by step chip away at what is perceived as one thing is really a more inclusive, more about serving community than you ever imagined.
Here's the thing that interests me and I love about Bull. So our character, Bull's from Lakeview. I believe I read that Eddie Martinez himself grew up in Edgewater in Chicago. You know, a lot of people, I hung out in Lakeview when I was young in the 90s and all that. I've known it, or I've been quite familiar with the Latino friends and history and experience up there. So and it's crazy to think that part of the city has not been known or been recognized or identified. Yeah. Nobody knew that there was such an artery of Latino culture going through that whole area. So when I read that he's from Lake, I'm like, oh, this got to be a good story.
Yeah.
I mean, I hung out on
It's a throwback.
Grace, all that, and there's a lot going on up there.
It's a throwback. Like you said, there's not a lot about that. If you look it up online, the neighborhoods that are flagged are Logan Square, Humboldt Park, Pilsen, all of which are also being gentrified at this time. And it keeps gentrification keeps pushing those neighborhoods over and over and over and away from the lake. And as they become, as those areas become commodities, as they become desired, and that's what we're speaking to when we say a play about living memory, is that Nancy remembers that, and she is like, I want to speak to that, not as if they're ghosts, but they are present. These people lived here, and some continue to live there, holding onto those homes, and that is what's crucial, is saying we were here. I remember. You don't get to erase that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to one up you.
That when I see somebody about to say, I want to make sure that I get all of it.
No, I don't want to one up you, Curtis, but I was in Lakeview in the 60s and 70s.
You definitely want to one up. There it goes.
I went to Loyola University's North Shore campus in Rogers Park, and Lakeview is right down the street. And to know how much it's changed, and then, Nancy's on the Zoom meeting going, oh yeah, I walked through Lakeview and I got this story, and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
That, I don't know, that just has such a relevancy to me.
Yeah.
And it also represents what's happening in our nation, across the country.
Yeah.
This is happening, and it doesn't get talked about. It's not seen. It's not. It's invisible.
Those high rises are going up everywhere. Those three flat, that's all going up everywhere. Housing that is not affordable is replacing family homes.
Right.
$1,900 for a studio. Crazy.
It's wild, and lots of them are standing empty.
Empty.
So what was that for? Who was that for? That's my question. I know the answer to that.
Right. That's how much time we got for this? The time is 8:40. Yeah. Where were you born and raised?
Oh, I'm a military brat. So all over, and I think that's how I got my passion for storytelling, is because everywhere you go, there's new stories. So I lived all over. Florida, North Carolina, Germany. We were overseas. We came back to North Carolina. Sacramento
Army,
for a time.
military.
Air Force.
Okay.
The rivalry is strong. My dad was a colonel in the Air Force.
This explains a lot.
Yes. My dad was a colonel in the Air Force. My mother was the first Mexican woman in her units. She went through a lot of challenges with that, right? And so things like, well, what do we do if you're deployed, if you're in the area and we don't have a restroom for you? And she's like, I'll put up a sign to not come in here when I'm in here. It's, so she was at the forefront of all that too. And it means a lot to me to tell Mexican stories in honor of my mother. I'm looking for that too. I'm looking for that community too. It's been really open arms, but My mother struggled with learning English when she moved to America, and my father didn't speak Spanish, and as a result, I don't speak Spanish.
Okay.
And that erasure with every generation, it hurts. I feel the pain of that. But I've got family saying, come home in Mexico. I've got family saying, you come from a tradition of artists. I'm going to get teary. That is what I'm after, is I'm missing something. As much as the missing canon exists, I'm missing something. I want to go home, and these places are home for me.
So in a way, Nancy Garcia Loza's writing kind of showed the path home.
Yeah. All of these
Very much,
stories,
Curtis.
All of these stories. I've had so many collaborators who've opened that door, open armed, and that means the world to me, and that means the world to work with Latino artists on these stories. That this whole cast comes in with all of their cultures, and then and brings that together in this Mexican story, in this Latino story. Yeah.
The time is 8:42 a.m. You're listening to and watching Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. We're here at Copley Theater talking about Bull, a love story. It's a great story. Eddie Martinez plays Bull. I found out that that's not his arm.
It's not
his arm.
That's
Brother had to ask that too.
Marketing's beautiful work. Look, he's a mountain.
Yeah.
Eddie's a mountain.
Yep.
But that's marketing's beautiful work, and
that is a beautiful backdrop.
Isn't
It's a
it?
beautiful poster.
I'm really proud of it because we saw, they showed us each of these pieces, each of these drawings these renderings of different iterations. I remember this came up on the screen, and both Nancy and I went, that's it. And that's incredible. I do want to talk about Eddie for a second.
Absolutely, sure.
Eddie never leaves the stage.
Right.
It is a marathon. We are with him the whole time. I never let him go out of light. He is just like, can I sleep? And I'm like, no. Because turn it up. And you know what? He does. Every night. I'm just amazed. I'm amazed at what he can do. The endurance of that. He's magnetic to watch. He's magnetic, and the cast is just feeding off of that and uplifting that, and because Bull is being pulled in so many different directions. There are scenes that he'll end in having frustrations, and the next one he gets pulled in by his girl being joyful, and he goes, I gotta meet that, and to really do those acrobatics, it's remarkable. I'm so grateful to have him in this role. Nancy and I are so grateful for him.
The way he deals with the other man is, talk about being emasculated.
Girlfriend's new boyfriend.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That was just a surprise to him.
And how he deals with that, with such resolute resolve, steady, slow and steady wins the race. I'll wait.
Yeah.
I can wait.
Yeah.
And he waits, and I'm not going to do any spoilers.
But man, the way that Eddie handles that, the way that he negotiates those nuances, and he is a mountain. He's got so much of that Bull in him, and so much of that love in him, and it's really remarkable.
So since you've been here in our great city of Aurora, what do you think about it? Any places that you like to eat? What do you?
I love it. Because I have to make the drive right from Logan Square, so I make the drive out every day. It's anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour, and the drive's tough, but I get here and it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. As a director, as a freelance director, you're going all over. You're and you never know what that's going to be, because that people are putting you up and helping you out, and you're going to these incredible theaters to make your work. But coming to a beautiful place full of beautiful people, I've talked to everyone in the stores and the coffee shops, and I tell them about the play, and they're like, that's so cool, and they're so supportive of the theater, they're so supportive of the arts and its meaning to downtown. And I'm just really, I love it. I mean, there's a Mexican bakery around the corner that I keep going to, like Pan Dulce. Yeah. Oh no, it's oh my gosh, I wish I could plug it.
By the bridge with the wings.
Yes. Oh, I think so. It's over the bridge, and across the street from the Walgreens. I'm so sorry. I wish I could plug it. But man, it's so delicious. It's so delicious, and it's great to see one because those are falling away in Chicago. One of our famous ones just fell away from underneath the blue line. So it's good to see it.
One of the products of gentrification.
Indeed. So love to see it going strong.
The time is 8:46 a.m. So now you mentioned telling the story of where you told the story of telling your mother's story and your family's experiences. Was that what led you to start on the path of becoming a director? Was that what sealed you? I mean, did you know when you were young, I'm going to be a director to carry on this and tell these stories?
As with many of us, I started as an actor. And it became really clear that I was not an actor. Because I was thinking big picture. Like I'd be on stage and I'd be like, what about this? What about this? What about this? And I was making little discoveries that weren't mine to make. So then I just started kind of inserting myself, which Jim knows well. I just started inserting myself to be like, what's this job like? How do you do what you do? How did you come up with that? With the plays that I was working on. Cape Fear Regional Theater was one of those crucial ones. And, on many military bases, there are community centers that do big productions, and I don't know if they still exist, but that was a hub for families to go to and to commune because people were being deployed and they would bring their families, right? And so that's where I found it. Is at these community centers that would full productions. And so I dove into that and just started being where the artists were and figuring out what they were doing, and it kind of started there. And then I got my degree from Elon University in my BFA in acting and my BA in theatrical design, so that I could talk to both sides of the table, the people I'd be working with. I want to know their vocabulary so that I can reach them at their level with their training, but also that I was working from a place of instinct of inserting my nose and going, what's this? So yeah, that was kind of the genesis. I don't know if that quite answers the question, but like, sure. It's hard to say like when the moment is, you're a director, because it's something that I find people find.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, personally, same thing happened to me. All of a sudden I realized, I'm really not directing this. There's something moving through me. How did I know how to do that yesterday?
Right.
I would go home and going, that went really well today. How did I know how to do that? I mean, there's something happening here that I got to take responsibility for and really start taking this seriously. And then you just become a director. And I think that applies to any field. You just kind of know there's more than me going on here.
Yeah.
And I've got to. And then you have to accept the responsibility of pursuing that, and the influence of that, how it influences what's gathered in the space with the artists, and seeing it through. That
people always talk about like life-changing moments, and I asked a question that was somewhat kind of like life-change, like when was the moment that you knew? But like if you're living life the right way, you might have many moments where it changes, where like, what, something's happening here, you know what I mean? Like, it's, I'm gonna walk through that door.
Yeah.
I'm
it
just gonna do it.
It came from me. I didn't come for it. It came from me.
Like
there's just no denying it. And that the pandemic taught me that.
So what is, are there any upcoming productions or projects that we should be on the lookout
from
for?
moi?
Yeah.
Yes, from moi and from what's the retort?
Okay.
Jim.
There's stuff that hasn't been announced yet, so I can't speak to that. But my next one that has been announced is at Remy Bumpo, and it is Anna in the Tropics.
Wow.
By Anilo Cruz. Who's a legendary Cuban playwright, and it is for me about how art changes people. That story is about how art changes people, how it ignites something in them. So very, very fitting. And it's about a lector, which is the tradition of oral storytelling. Is newly arrives at a cigar factory in Ybor City, Florida. in the 1920s, and kind of what that ignites in everyone to hear Anna Karenina read aloud in this space as they are working. What does that do to these people, to this family? And that's what I'm looking to crack open and do something new with.
So you're going to be in Florida this winter?
No. Remy Bumpo's in Chicago, but the play takes place in Florida. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
No worries. Yeah, come on out to Chicago. Yeah.
Florida in the winter sounded real nice.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I was like,
Oh, man. That was.
Okay, Jim.
Well, Bull is the fourth and final production of this first season of the Bold series. These audiences were our first audiences, and it's been just a beginning. We're reading a lot of plays, going through a lot of submissions for new work as well, to determine what next season 2 of Bold will be. In the Broadway series, we have The Sound of Music has just started rehearsal, and then that's followed by Into the Woods, and that's followed by School of Rock.
Okay.
I mean, could
So just
you get
like light
a more
fare, just
mixed
not,
bag?
just huge productions,
Like,
incredible.
if you can't find one of those to like,
Right.
Yeah.
and you
There's
can't
no
beat,
helping you.
you can't beat the price. I mean, if you get the Broadway series as a subscriber, each show is like $25 or something ridiculous, you know. And again, up until Sunday, there's a $35 ticket with Destinos as the code. At ParamountAurora.com, you'll find this. Just click on Bull, a love story, and you'll see that until Sunday, you can see Bull for $35. The whole thing about Tim's approach, Tim's vision for Paramount was to make it affordable, to serve the community, to get people in the door and look at what they can be so edified by. And that's been the most important thing about the whole institution, is getting the community to see how this is for them. And affordability has always been the primary concern, how to reach more people and to say, yeah, take a chance, you know.
It's got to make it accessible. It's got to be accessible. Yeah.
Gotta be accessible.
And there's
I
also
just
the
went
people-
on a rant. I don't even know.
No.
That answered your question.
That's what's next. That's what's next. Yeah.
And then we also have there's the Pay What You Can initiative.
Pay what you
as
can
well
on
for all the
every
shows.
show.
Right, for all the
On
shows.
every show, there are 2 performances that are Pay What You Can. And seriously, it's serious.
Yep.
Yeah.
You just call the box office and tell them what you'd like to actually contribute. It's like a donor. You're being a donor. And that we're here for you.
Right.
And whatever you can put in, we'll take it.
How do you? It's the time's 8:54, so we got a little bit more time here. But what's your 30,000 foot assessment of the Latino experience in Chicago proper and the nation right now? We talk gentrification, which is we're talking about it in Chicago, but what's your
Oh man, it's such a big question. Such a big, and you know what? I don't know that I'm fully the one to speak to it, because I'm still making discoveries about sort of what it means to be a white Latina. Like that's a responsibility of like I am both like I need to be actively anti-racist in my approach to the world, and I'm trying to regain and accept my own culture inside of that. So with that said, my voice in all of that is to uplift the Latino community, to uplift my community, and to say we're here, and it is a huge. Like it is a huge community inside of America. It is an overwhelm. Black and brown people are going to be the majority, and it's shortly in America. We are seeing that. So all of the racism, the vile sort of backlash, and and the violence is heartbreaking, and is something I wish to see an end to, and I wish for all of us to be examining our ideologies, examining our internal biases, examining what it means to be anti-racist, what it means to be anti-sexist, anti-ableist, like going through that diaspora and saying who needs that voice, and saying, here you go, that up to the front, up to the front, up to the front. It's not to be gifted, it's to be actively pursued by people who have more privilege. So that is my roundabout way of getting that, but I feel that it is not my mine to say, but also it is my responsibility, mine to say, of like to speak on behalf of Latino people in America. Right. But it is my responsibility to put those voices forward and to examine those things inside of myself that are blocking that from making headway to show up.
I like that. I like that. You know what? I'm going to make sure that I'm going to be the best ally as we try to save the world here. I'm going to do my part, you know.
One story at a time.
The time is 8:57 a.m. The show ends on a positive note.
Yeah.
So what is the message today for the people of Aurora and Chicago? Jim, we'll start with you.
I think one of the big themes of A Love Story is earning it, you know, and that how we all need to see in our own way how we can earn what we're going after, and not just dream and wish, but do something, take that action, build it, earn it. I think that's what we see at the end of Bull.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, who doesn't want to watch a love story? And that's what it, that's what it is to me. Is I just want people to open their hearts and watch us all fall in love with each other in all its many forms. And I want to share that love to an audience and to each other, and hope it extends beyond these doors. So open your hearts.
Awesome. Open your hearts. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the message of the day is ending, is open your hearts. This has been an awesome production. We appreciate the team here, Laura and Jim, for coming on and talking to us about Bull, a Love Story, taking place here at the Copley Theater until November 20th. Once again, remember to use the code DESTINOS, DESTINOS, when you go to book your tickets to receive the $35 price that's going until this Sunday the 16th. Other than that, we'll see you back on Friday for another episode of Good Morning Aurora. Take care of yourself and each other.